Shalom. Call Haluyam La Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachak Kodash. Bakta Yahweh, Bakta Yahushai, Bakta Rachak Kodash, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachak Kodash. Shalom and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elder bishops and the elders in the Akim and the Akwath of the hopeful elect. Shalom. Just want to go into a quick video entitled The Great Bonfire for the Wicked Fastly Approaches. So, we know that today is January 31st, 2024, and World War III is at a fever pitch. It's at a boiling point right now. It's amplified so much in the last few days, and there was 3 American soldiers, which were so-called African American, that got killed over there, somewhere in the east over there. So, and that's only going to intensify. And our people foolishly have joined Esau's army, fighting a war that is not his, and for a country that they are listed as 3/5 of a man on the Constitution until this day. So, but the day of the bonfire is fastly approaching, with Esau's impending judgment, according to biblical prophecy, and everything is obviously biblical now when you read the scriptures and you see everything that's occurring in the land today. So we'll go ahead and start here in Job chapter 21 and start at verse 28. For ye say, where is the house of the prince? And that prince goes into, the king of a nation. And where are the dwelling places of the wicked? So chiefly, and the wicked is a so-called white race. They're the head of the wickedness in the earth. They're the wicked of the earth. And there's other nations, and the heathen nations, they have wandered after the beast. In Revelations 13:3, they wandered after the beast, which is America. The beast is, NATO and EU revived through the whore America that has the spirit of the fourth beast of Rome, ancient Rome. They're the wicked. And so the Most High is asking, through Job speaking here, says, where's the house of the prince? And where's the dwelling places of the wicked? So we know that's over in Washington, D.C., and wherever else the wicked elites, the shadow government, reside in Europe, London, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, and the other 13, all of the 13 shadow families that govern the earth. And we know who the head of that is, and that's Esau Edom. Verse 29, have ye not asked them that go by the way? And do ye not know their tokens? The tokens, what tokens? The signs. Another word for tokens is signs. The tokens, the signs of the wicked. And that's chiefly going into what? Just look at the food that they push for consumption in Babylon the Great America and throughout the four corners. They push what? All unclean, unlawful foods that the Torah, aka the book of the law of Moses, Genesis through Deuteronomy, the first 5 books of the Bible, speak expressly against: eating shrimp, crab, lobster, pork, fish without scales. Like they push catfish, that doesn't have scales, and so you can get sick because they don't have a protective barrier on their body of scales to protect it from the parasites in the water and bacteria in the water, and it gets in its body, and then you eat that catfish and you can get sick and get gravely sick and possibly die. So that's one of the most fundamental tokens, aka signs of the wicked. Verse 30, that the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction. They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath. So these people are reserved to the day of destruction, and we cannot do anything to save them, no matter how much our Sambo, house boy, sellout so-called brethren of the 2/3 try to save the K-beast, the so-called white man. The Most High already has his day reserved. The the last day of the heathen rulership when judgment come down, that's the day of wrath, and that's the day of destruction, for the wicked. So let's see. From there, we'll go ahead and get Jeremiah 46 and verse 1. The word of the Lord Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai, which came to Jeremiah the prophet against the Gentiles. So we see this heading up here too, says the feet of Pharaoh foretold. And now Jeremiah, he wrote this prophecy. He wrote this like at least hundreds of years before, after the ancient Pharaoh and the Egyptian, our Egyptian captivity in Egypt during the Exodus. So Jeremiah the prophet, I'm looking in this book here, the Rose Book of Bible charts, maps, and timelines. Extremely heavy, powerful, great biblical Bible aid, study aid with your scriptures and your reading. So Jeremiah, he lived from 650 BC to 582 BC. So we know it goes in reverse in the BC era. So 650 to 582. So he lived roughly about 68 years. So he wrote this prophecy at some point within that time frame. And the Egyptian captivity and Pharaoh, old Pharaoh, was about, 500 to 1,000 years before that. So this defeat of Pharaoh being foretold, the prophecy of the future Pharaoh, which is the prince right now of Babylon the Great, America. So Biden, whoever is the president. So, and this is the word that came to the Most High against the Gentiles. So Jeremiah 46 and verse 10. For this is the day of the Lord Yahweh, the Most High Power, in the name of Yahweh Shai of hosts, a day of vengeance, that he may avenge him of his adversaries. Avenge who? The Israelites. And chiefly the Most High himself, because they wage war against the Most High. And then the Messiah against the Messiah, and then against his chosen nation, the Israelites. And the sword shall devour, and it shall be satiate and made drunk with their blood. So satiate means to completely fill. When you eat a food that's, and they say this is a very very satiating, meaning very filling. So that sword going to be completely full of judgment. And it shall be satiate and made drunk with their blood. For the Lord Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai of hosts, hath a sacrifice in the north country by the river Euphrates. So this is the end times, the battle of Armageddon, when the Messiah destroys, the other heathen after Babylon the Great is destroyed. The north country over in that region would be who? Russia, Gog and Magog, the modern day Medes, after they destroy America and North America. So let's see. From there we'll get verse 11. Go up into Gilead and take balm, O virgin, the daughter of Egypt. So we know that Esau Edom, he's referenced in the scriptures as the daughter of Babylon, and he's also the daughter of Egypt because he's the modern day Pharaoh. In vain shalt thou use many medicines, and one of their medicines is trying to heal their economy with this digital economy they're trying to usher in to lock mankind into digital slavery and have full control of mankind. It's lucky. But the scriptures say about, him doing that, when he's about to fill his belly, he shall be in straits. So let's see. In vain shalt thou use many medicines, for thou shalt not be cured. So they can take balm, but Babylon will not be healed. And all the heathen that destroys Babylon the Great as well. They won't be able to take down the whole of America and then have a permanent rulership and take the stead of America as the world superpower. That will not happen. So let's see. So that verse 10 here, at the end of verse 10, we'll start right here. It says, for the Lord Yahweh, the Most High Power of hosts, in the name of Yahweh Shai, hath a sacrifice in the north country by the river Euphrates. It's very familiar wording. So we go to Isaiah 34, and we'll start at verse 4. Seeing the title appear at the top of the head, even Esau know it. These biblical scholars, so-called, they know a little bit. They can't get the true mysteries, but they understand the plain things and just seeing the judgment that's going to come forth to these heathen nations. It says Yahweh's wrath against nations, but chiefly Esau, Edom. And all the nations are heathen. The heathen nations will be joined unto Esau. So we'll start at verse 4. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved. And what dissolves things? Fire, thermonuclear fire. And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. That's that mushroom cloud from those thermonuclear missiles. And all their hosts shall fall down. And that word hosts is armies. And all their armies shall fall down. And that's beginning, the spearheaded by Esau, Edom, the so-called white race. And their Edomite nations and their armies that lead this charge of this World War III. And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their armies shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. So, they're going to fall down. The Most High is going to completely, utterly annihilate and destroy America, chiefly, and the other nations that the Most High deems to get hit with those missiles as well. In verse 5, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. And what's that sword? Thermonuclear missiles. It's not talking about a literal sword. If you throw a sword up high in the air, I don't care if you could throw it up to the stars and let it come all the way down, it will not make a mushroom cloud, and it won't dissolve anything, because that's fire that dissolves, right? This is talking about thermonuclear fire. Verse 5, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. And Idumea is a slick alternate form of Edom that Esau had put in there. But the scriptures are not tainted. Esau likes to play semantics, meaning, trivial, childlike games with words sometimes. See, Edom, red, that's what that Idumea is. That's going into Esau, Edom, the so-called white race. And upon the people of my curse. So that shows you that proves here in this verse that Esau, Edom is the grandchildren of Cain, because when you hear that word curse, that should automatically take you back to Cain, because he was the one that received that curse of losing his melanin and having that leopard skin. So, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So Cain is the grandfather of Esau, and Esau is the father of the Edomites. And who were the Edomites? The so-called white race. Let's see. And we know the Romans, or the so-called white race, as they love to glorify the ancient Roman Empire, right? The so-called Americans, the Edomites. so-called whites. So when you get Herod, so-called heroic, um, you see right here, Herod the Great, so-called great, was the son of Antipater of Idumea. And we just saw what Idumea is. That's Edom. So Herod the Great was so-called great was the son of Antipater of Idumea of Edom. I mean Edom of of uh, of Edom. So he's an Antipater of Edom. Um, they're the Edomites. It's easily to connect it. When you're in the spirit, and the Most High is blessing you to have eyes to see and ears to hear. Edom. It's funny. Isaiah 34 and verse. Now we started verse. Read 5 again. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. We know that's Edom, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So they are the people that's cursed. That are the wicked of the earth, and that's the great bonfire that's soon to come. Let's see, verse 6. The sword of the Lord Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness. It's that pure, getting purely satiated, getting real filled up with all that judgment. And with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams, for the Lord Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai hath a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. So Bozrah is the capital city of wherever Esau Edom is. So right now Esau Edom has pitched his tent and put his flag in America and ruled the whole earth through that rulership with its army where in Washington D.C. That's the capital city of modern day Bozrah. That's modern day Bozrah, the capital city of Idumea, of the Edomites, wherever the Edomites are, because they keep it not at home. They always moving around, and that's that prophecy and that curse of Cain, a fugitive and a vagabond. He shall be in the earth. And what's a fugitive? One that escapes judgment. He's always on the move. He doesn't stay put. He got to keep on moving so he won't get caught, right? That's why he whitewash everything and change his names and stuff to keep his identity, and change his name all the time to keep escaping those criminal ways of the Edomites. And they deny being Esau Edom. But and also, a vagabond a vagabond is a homeless person, a person that goes from place to place, pitching tents, taking land, spoiling, raping, robbing, and murdering, right? So that's who that is. So Job chapter 27 and verse 7. The state of the godless. those are them that doesn't keep the commandments and are proud against the Most High. Verse 7. Let mine enemy be as the wicked. So any enemy of the Israelites, you can have enemies that come up against you in your own nation, and they'll become as the wicked, because they're the wicked. They're separate from Israel. Those are the Edomites. Let my enemy be as the wicked, and he that riseth up against me as the unrighteous. So anyone that comes up against a perfect man of the Lord, because Job chapter 1 goes into Job was a perfect man, and was perfect, the commandments. He kept the commandments, and he had a pure heart towards the Most High. He had a soft heart towards the Most High, meaning he inclined his ear and his heart and ways unto the Most High, and did that which was pleasing to the Most High. So anyone that come up against a righteous man, let them be as the wicked of the earth, the so-called white race, and them that rise up against a righteous man, they shall be unrighteous. Verse 8. Salakia. So we'll get Malachi chapter 1 and we'll start at verse 1. the burden of the word of the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord Yahweh. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord Yahweh? Yet I loved Jacob. So the Most High, he has his picks and who he chose. It wasn't Esau. It was the Israelites, Jacob. Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains waste. And laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. And those dragons is going into desert creatures that will inhabit America, Babylon the Great. Because right now his heritage is over there in Petra and his old areas over where he lived at, right? That's all waste. That's inhabited by dragons for the wilderness. And then also America is going to become the same thing. It's going to become, America literally is going to become a desert. Like the deserts of Saudi Arabia and, you know, those Arab nations got those massive deserts over there. That's going to be the fate of America. Going to become a major desert because of the fire. That's going to just turn everything to dust. And desert creatures, the dragons of the wilderness, are going to inhabit America, the deserts of America, once it's burned down into a crisp, into just straight desert sand. Verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished. And that's going into when they, they became chiefly impoverished when they went to those caves during the Middle Ages. And then they came out, that the medieval times from about 300 AD to 1300 AD, when they, and then they came out those caves. Satan loosed a little season right now in America, because America is a very young nation still. We are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Most High Power Yahweh in the name of Yahushai of hosts. And building those desolate places is going also into what? The fourth beast being revived. The fourth beast was wounded to death but was healed. And they built that desolate, and that's them rebuilding that old ancient Roman way of the Senate and the army, and having all of the money and pillaging and plundering, stealing all the resources of the earth. They shall build, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Most High Power Yahweh in the name of Yahushai of armies. That's what that word host mean. They shall build, but I will throw down. I'm going to throw them down with those thermonuclear missiles. And with the Messiah finishing everything off, those other nations that take down America. And they shall call them the border of wickedness. So the Edomites, they're the border of wickedness. They're the wicked. That's why Job said, let them be, anyone his enemy become as the wicked. Because the wicked, we have been fighting since the womb, Jacob and Esau. That's our enemy from the womb. So anyone that come up against him, let him be as the wicked, as Esau Edom. The border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh in the name of Yahushai hath indignation forever. So the Most High has indignation against Esau Edom forever. So people will say, and people that want to play semantics and trivial childlike games with wordplay and say that in verse 3 said, and I hated Esau. They'll say, see, that's past tense. That's not anymore. But what verse 4 say, the end of verse 4, the people against whom the Lord Yahweh hath indignation forever. That's for eternity. So they can just be quiet with their saving of their master. Job 27 and verse 8. For what is the hope of the hypocrite? Though he gained when Yahweh taketh away his soul. And verse 7 again, we'll read that real quick. Let mine enemy be as the wicked, as Esau Edom, and he that riseth up against me as the unrighteous. And who is that? the Edomites. So they'll be unrighteous as them. So verse 8, for what is the hope of the hypocrite, though he hath gained, when Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai taketh away his soul? See, there's no hope for the hypocrite. There's hope for the righteous. That's to be a part of the elect that gets beamed up with salvation, but no hope for the, there's no hope for the wicked. Most High is going to take away his soul, and you're going to bring that judgment upon them in the day of wrath. Verse 9, will Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai hear his cry when trouble cometh upon him? Nope, because he hate not the blood, so blood will pursue him. Galatians 6 and 7, the Most High is not mocked. Whatso a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Will he delight himself in the Almighty? Will he always call upon Yahweh? And we know that that's not the case. So verse 9 again, will Yahweh hear his cry when trouble cometh upon him? So will he hear him in the name of Yahweh Shai? Let's see. John 9 and 31. Now we know that Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai heareth not sinners. But if any man be a worshipper of Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai, and doeth his will, his commandments, him he heareth. So the Most High heareth not sinners. And let's get that word sinner. Devoted to sin. And we know Esau Edom, he's devoted to sin. He's not devoted to righteousness. He's devoted to wickedness and unrighteousness. Not free from sin. Esau has done a lot of sinning, and he's not free from that. He has never repented, and also there's no place of repentance for him. I believe that's in Romans chapter 9, if I'm not mistaken. Preeminently sinful. So I got that word. I did a Google search on that word preeminently, and similar words to that is chiefly and outstandingly. So chiefly sinful and outstandingly sinful. And as we know, Esau Edom, this country and the leaders chiefly, they have done outstandingly wicked deeds in the earth. Especially wicked, all wicked men, specifically of men stained with certain definite vices or crimes. And we know Esau, he's filled with crimes and vices, drugs, all illegal substances. And right here it says what? Tax collectors, heathen. So, and every year there's what? A annual tax season. So that's a sinful thing. So tax collecting is associated with sinners because it's an oppressive thing. Because you're not supposed to lend your money with usury. You're not supposed to oppress your brother. Making someone pay taxes unto you, that's oppression, and that's slavery, and that's a sin. So Esau has an annual tax season. So he's annually, he's never ending in his wickedness. He's perpetually wicked. And then also heathen. So another name for the word sinner is heathen. So when someone is doing wicked and they're being wicked and evil, you call them, people say, he a heathen or you're a heathen because they're doing wickedly. So sinner is synonymous with heathen, and heathen is synonymous with sinner. So why would the Most High save heathen? The heathen nations, they're sinners. The heathen nations are sinner nations. So why would the Most High save them? So anyone trying to save the heathen and Esau Edom, they clearly don't have any understanding. And the Most High is going to destroy them too if they don't repent. So now we'll go back to Job 27 and verse 10. Will he delight himself in the Almighty? Will he always call upon Yahweh? We know he never delights himself in the Most High. He delights himself in his own wickedness, in his own hands, and he delights himself in Satan. So we'll get let's see, Psalms 50. So by delighting in the Most High, you delight in the commandments of the Most High. Let's get that right quick. Psalms 1:1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. So, verse 2. But his delight is in the law of the Lord Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, and in his law doeth he meditate day and night. So the laws of the Most High, that's the blessed man, is he that delights in the Most High. And Job just asked, will he delight in the Lord? So Job 27:10. Will he delight himself in the Almighty, and the Almighty's laws, statutes, and commandments in the name of Yahweh Shai? Will he always call upon Yahweh? So we know the answer to that, but we'll go ahead and continue to filter and properly expose the wicked of the earth, the so-called white race. Psalms 50 and verse 15. And call upon me in the day of trouble. So we have a day of trouble coming, and it's called Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah 30:7, I believe, and Daniel chapter 12, verse 1 through 3. And then read 2nd Ezra 15, 2nd Ezra 16, and plenty other scriptures as well, and books going into the day of trouble that we're going to be in. And these apocalyptic times, movies like the Book of Eli and I Am Legend. Let's see, it says, and call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me. So that's the elect. And then the Most High is about to switch gears right here. But unto the wicked, Yahweh saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes? Or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? So Job asks, will the wicked delight in the Most High? The Most High says right here, the Most High says unto the wicked, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? So it's showing you that the Most High is like, what are you trying to do? It's like basically, how dare you try to pose as a man of the Lord, or put on the front, because they have these Bibles at these presidential inauguration speeches and throughout different venues and events and things that they put on. So verse 17, seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee. So they don't delight in the Most High. They hate the Most High's words, and they cast the words behind them. So it's like whenever they're done putting on the front and show of having a Bible in their hand or swearing on the Bible, then they just toss it away, toss it behind them, right? Whenever they are done and through putting on the show for the public. So let's see. Verse 19, thou givest thy mouth to evil, because they always lying, and thy tongue frameth deceit, and that's chiefly through their media. That it's like they the wicked elites, beginning with the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, they draft a paper, draft a letter, they draft a story every day to feed through the media that they run and that they own through their money, and they repeat, and it just reads off They read the news anchors. They just read it off the teleprompters and go ahead and speak the lies and deceit and the mischief that they frame with their tongue through their controlling of the media narratives everywhere, every day. And the president, he does it as well. They're just puppets for the wicked elites. Verse 20, thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son. And they do that through the media and through social media and through every form of medium that they can. Media through the movies, Hollywood, and music. They slander because Jacob and Esau, their mother was Rebecca. So Esau, the so-called white race, slandered their brother, the Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians, every day. So Job chapter 27 and verse 12. Behold, all ye yourselves have seen it. Why then are ye thus altogether vain? This is the portion of a wicked man with Yahweh, and the heritage of oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. So Esau, he has been multiplied, but it's not for righteousness. It's not because they're righteous. It's not for them to be blessed. They're enjoying their rulership for a season, and they're multiplied to receive this judgment coming through the World War III, and then that ultimate day of judgment with the thermonuclear missiles. Let's see. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep. So-called white girl, so-called white woman, she secretly, love Israelite men. So they're not going to sorrow. They're not going to weep for them because they are wicked, and really they hate their so-called white man, their white brother, so-called, right? And they're not going to weep for them because they're going to be trying to come after Israelite man as well. Let's see. Though he heap up silver as the dust, and prepare raiment as the clay, because he's a glutton in everything. Bad consumption of food, consumption of riches of all nations, and chiefly the Israelites. Though he heap up silver as the dust, and prepare raiment as the clay. So clay is everywhere. So he has everything. He has the fatness of the earth right now, and that's that blessing of Esau from Jacob. Verse 17. He may prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver, because he's going to only have it for a season. Like these doomsday preppers, as I've said, years ago, as the Most High, I saw meditating upon it, the Most High had revealed that to me, that it makes sense, because all of these doomsday preppers that's preparing all these things and storing up water and food and weapons and stuff. We don't need weapons because our weapons are not carnal. Our weapons are spiritual. We have our guardian angel, and then particular men will receive spiritual powers, and men, women, and children of the elect, they will be they will be provided for, and the Most High will protect them and hide them and shield them from the wicked in these last days. So when you build up, they store up these things, and then the elect, the scriptures say that we will be as pilgrims upon the earth in those apocalyptic days. And then you'll come across, the hopeful elect will come across houses and storehouses, things that you will need to sustain you for a season, like food, like water, food. If you need medicines or anything like that, then the Most High have that provided for you. These people storing up things that's going to be taken by the righteous as they navigate around. Let's see. So verse 16 right here says, though he heap up silver as the dust, and prepare raiment as the clay. And we'll get Job 20 and 15. He hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, shall cast them out of his belly. And And I think it's Joel chapter 2 or 3. I won't get it, but you can, read it yourself there. It speaks about, the Israelites, or the Most High reference us as gold and silver, that he has taken his gold and silver, his precious goodly things. So how was that? Because he took us in slavery, and we're in the belly of the beast right now in America, Babylon the Great. And throughout the four corners that we're also scattered throughout amongst the other heathen nations. And he swallowed us down, and the Most High is going to make him throw up his riches, his treasure. His gold and silver, the Israelites. So now we'll go to Malachi 4:1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. Those are those thermonuclear missiles. And all the proud, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. So who's the most proud? The so-called white race. And they do wickedly, and they're going to be stubble. They're going to be burnt up. And anyone that's doing wickedly with the proud and wicked of the earth. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. They're going to be burnt up all the way down to the root. And they're going to be rooted out of society. Obadiah 1:18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. So this is referencing the southern and the northern kingdom. Jacob representing the southern kingdom in this particular context, and the house of Joseph, that's representing the northern kingdom, because we know Joseph, chiefly going to Ephraim, he was the head tribe of the northern kingdom. So the northern and southern kingdom, the 12 tribes, are going to be back in the last days, as we are right now, so-called Black Latinos, Native American Indians. And we'll be a fire and a flame. And the house of Esau for stubble, because he has oppressed the Israelites. So Esau would be the house of Esau. The Edomites, the so-called white race, they're going to be burnt up. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining. Not some, not a remnant, zero. There should not be any, meaning there will be zero remaining of the house of Esau. For the Lord Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, hath spoken it. Revelation 19:18. That ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men. So that's going into the rulers of the earth, the Illuminati, the shadow government, and then the captains of the armies, and the flesh of the mighty men going into the soldiers of those armies, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. This is going to the heathen nations' armies, starting with Esau, Edom, the so-called white race, the Babylon the Great, and Russia, and all its allies. And I saw the beast, and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse, and against his army. And to make war against him is talking about Yahweh Shah, the Messiah, when he makes his return. See, they're gathered together. All the heathen, when these heathen nations take down America, Babylon the Great, they're now going to be trying to solidify themselves as the world superpower, one of those nations, chiefly Russia. And then when the Messiah returns, they're going to see that, and they're going to be like, whoa. They're going to all try to link together to try to take down the Messiah, but that's not going to be, that's not smart, and that's going to be a very vain thing to do, because it will not matter at all. Verse 19, because of the beast right here, NATO and the EU, they're going to turn on America and burn it as well. And so NATO and EU, remnant, however much is remaining, they're going to be allied up with Russia and all of Russia, Persia, aka Iran, and China, and all of their allies over there in the east. They're all going to be trying to come together to come up against the Messiah. Verse 20. And the beast was taken. Let's see. Yeah, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet. That's going to the Roman, the Pope. That's the because all these false denominations have spawned from Roman Catholicism, because Roman Catholicism came about in 300 AD, and then Islam, or the Muslims, they came about in 600 AD, 300 years after Roman Catholicism. And Judaism came about around 1000 AD, if I'm not mistaken. The little hats, they're in their BS. And so, in every denomination that came from the Roman Catholic Church over here in the Americas, so that's that false prophet, the Pope. That's one of those three unclean frogs spoken of in Revelation somewhere. I can't remember which chapter. It might be this chapter. No, maybe not. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast. And that's that implant that go into your hand, where you have to be able to buy and sell oil in your forehead. So NATO, EU, all of them, you know what I'm saying, the Edomites, the so-called white race, and all of his allies, the false prophet of the Pope, and then everyone that was deceived by all of these lies and took that thing in their hand, that CHIP, CHIP, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. His philosophies, ideologies, Christianity, worshiping and doing things of wickedness, believing upon the so-called white man and all of his lies. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. So the Messiah is going to burn them all up. And those are going to be the remaining absolute number that will be judged for their wickedness. And it's going to be an absolute amount of people over here in America that get destroyed, with that thermonuclear fire for the same. Verse 21, and the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, going to be slain by Yahushua. This is the aftermath of the of Babylon the Great, America being destroyed. Which sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh. So meaning, the Messiah going to just completely burn them up, because that's going to those chariots, and he's going to be in the fathership. It's going to be so large, it's going to look like a mountain. As Esdras had described it in 2nd Esdras chapter 13, of how large and how great that chariot, so-called UFO, is, and that blast proceeding out of the mouth going into those chariot laser beam fire that would be shot out and burn up the Russia and Gog and Magog, Russia and Persia, Iran, China, and all of them going to be burnt up with fire, those armies. So with that being said, this is the great bonfire for the wicked that fastly approaches. With that being said, I hope this video was edifying. The water to Rechak Wadash B'Hashem Yahushai for another video. Until the next video, I say, Shalom.